Hey everyone. I know it's been a minute since I've gone live. I am back in Austin. It has been a very busy time for me. Just wanted to give everyone a shout out. I know it's rather early this morning for to be coming on, but I just really had a message for um, everyone today. Is Wow, the things that have happened and the things that I've been literally, I don't know what happened. I got kind of lost, caught up in the situation. But yeah, what I wanted to talk, they kind of sit and watch. And even if they're active in a crowd, they're watching, they're sitting, they're taking time to themselves, right? To, how can I say it, read the room. So, what I have, so much information was coming in. There was so much going on and collectively in my life, and that was, I was literally pushing out past, I've always referenced the hour that we're in. We're at the end of a system. We're at the end of a season. We're at the end of a transition. Yeah, how would I would say it? Metamorphosis of change is going on in our collective. And what is so interesting is just as I began to travel and deal with family issues and what was going on, and not really issues, because it was a beautiful time. My daughter was graduating and we had a beautiful time, but it was a lesson personally for me. And the most interesting thing about this lesson, I had to see my ex-husband that I haven't seen in 20 years. 20 years I haven't, maybe even more than that, I haven't seen him. I just literally haven't seen him. And I really believe that was by divine order. I really believe that that was by the divine order of source, because there was so much healing that needed to happen. There's so many things that needed to happen within my own life to get me prepared to be able to be in the same room. And one thing I will tell you, when you're dealing with a narcissist, you literally have to go non-contact, because it is no joke. It is no joke. I'm telling you, my eyebrows are like off the hook. I tried to draw them on this morning. I don't got no eyebrows. So, but anywho, as we talk about this, one thing I would like to say to you guys, that it does matter how you forgive. It does matter if you forgive. And so right before I went to Arizona, I had this awful dream, and the dream was my ex-husband was in this dream, and it was awful. I felt like I couldn't, I remember just waking up just like I was triggered in trauma, and I was so afraid to go to Arizona, not because of the graduation. I was very happy about the graduation, but I knew I was going to be seeing him at the graduation, and was I ready? And this is like when you have been in trauma for so long and you're peeling away to heal the trauma that is brought upon you through another person, or trauma that you've done to yourself. It doesn't matter. It's just it takes time. And so as I'm in the in the emphasis of change in my life, it was time for me to have this conversation, or to be in the same room with this man that traumatized me. and and I don't know if you guys are used to people, used to narcissism. When they take their hold on you, it could take literally decades to rewire your mind. It depends on how long you were with that person. I was married for 14 years. My ex-husband was very religious, and he was by far very evil. He was very evil. Wasn't a very good man. And I'm not saying he was 100% evil. He probably was 99.9% evil. I'll give him 1%. There were a few times in my life that I felt safe around him, but mostly I've never felt safe. And then so me feeling that I have to be in the same room with this man, that I had to do no contact. And this is what I'm saying. The moment somebody, I'm sorry, I'm outside. It's a nice morning and I wanted to get some vitamin D. But the moment somebody is giving contempt, you can feel it. And sometimes you don't even have to feel it. Go by their actions. If they're always criticizing you, if they're always finding something wrong with you, if they're always finding fault in you, if they're always making you, you know, uh, like judge, it's almost like they make you feel like nothing's real. Nothing's real. Like you have no value. Why are you doing that? It's always, why are you doing that? What makes you think you can do that? You know, and but you know what's so interesting? And this is one thing I said, is my daughter said something pivotal to me, which made a lot of sense, because my daughters and I, we have been working on our journey for quite some time. The husband that I lived with for 14 years, it took a long time for us to heal and de-traumatize from that. So with that said, let me explain. It's almost like during that time of me doing the healing and integrations that I have been doing for quite some time. I have been doing this for a long time. And I have been working with my children, like me and my children, we were in, I think, therapy for like 15 years. We were in therapy for 15 years because of this man. But what's so interesting about this all, one thing that I have learned, and this is one thing that I have gathered, and my daughter said this, is like karma is not something Source or the Most High does to you. It's what you implode upon yourself by your actions. So I go to the graduation, and one thing I had been preparing is to be prepared to be able to see him right before the graduation, because this was a big lesson in healing. This was a big lesson in forgiveness. The forgiveness was not for him per se, it was for me to be able to move forward. And so I knew that when we got together, like when I got with my family, that this was going to be one of the things that I was going to have to actually encounter. And so I was really prepared, but I didn't know how prepared I was going to be. And it was almost like Source had told me, he goes, will be your biggest test. As he was telling me this is my biggest test, I'm having these weird dreams. I mean, I'm feeling very insecure. I'm feeling very, how can I say it, just really, really uncomfortable about the whole thing. Really uncomfortable. But then, it ended up working out, because, like, literally, it was so crazy, because I'm sitting here, right? I'm sitting here at the graduation, and then what happens is my daughter, she comes to me and she goes, and she pulls me aside and she goes, Mom, could you do me a favor? And I go, yeah, babe, I'd do anything for you. And she goes, I need you to take a picture with my father. I was like, oh my God, oh my God. And so she said, I need you to take a picture with my father because I need this memory. And I'm like thinking, oh shit. I agreed to go to this thing with him because she gave me a choice. She said, "Mom, if you don't want him there, I'll respect that." But I wanted to be the bigger person. I wanted to be the bigger person. So, in being the bigger person, it was me saying, "Okay, put my feelings aside and allow him to have this experience because after all he missed it all because he was a deadbeat dad. So give him his last piece, give him his last opportunity, give him and it was so interesting because when I was in meditation thinking about how I'm going to deal with this situation, it was like Source told me, "You're tying up loose ends." I kept hearing that. You're tying up loose ends. So I went with that. I literally went with that. And I must say, it was absolutely a beautiful experience for me, that moment that I sat next to him. And it was so interesting because my daughter had told me, like, when I was like sitting down, she said, "Mom, I had to take several pictures because you were kind of leaning, like my ex-husband was over here and I'm like leaning." And so I'm trying to take the picture because I'm still like, I'm not feeling uncomfortable. I just didn't really. So then finally I got my Stella get her groove on. And when I got the Stella get her groove on, then I kind of like got in position. So as I'm getting in position, it was so interesting because I said a mantra. And in this mantra, I said, "I return your energy back to you. I return the insult that had came against my descendants, my children, my life. I give your karma back to you. I receive and understand that this time is ending. I forgive you. I forgive you for everything that you caused my children and I to go through." And as I was doing this, now I knew, like, last year he was in the hospital for almost a month. And he's had terrible times because it's just what my daughter said. Karma is what you do to yourself. Karma is not, you know, it's not the Most High doing it. You're actually doing it to yourself. You know, and so as I'm doing this mantra, we get the pictures done. A few days later, my daughter goes, "Mom, I need to tell you something." We went to lunch. Her and her husband went, and they were kind of telling me what their plans, because they just got their bachelor's, but they're doing the master's program. So they're actually getting a master's, and my daughter has her internship at University Hospital. So as she's telling me the great things that is happening in her life, she goes, "Mom, I have to tell you this." She goes, "Dad asked me, was that your mom sitting next to me?" And my daughter goes, "Yeah." And she told me, she goes, "Mom, Dad can't see you." And I go, "What?" And she goes, "He can't see you." And she said, it's almost like his vision is like he's looking through a straw, a very small straw. And so if he doesn't turn all the way around, he can't see me. He has to be like this close to me. So what really Source showed me in this: never wish anything on anybody. Because when a person harms you and when a person insults your soul, they're doing it because their soul, it's the boomerang. It's the boomerang. People that do you poorly is because they feel bad about themselves. And rather than heal the pain that lies within them, they take that pain out on you. So never wish anything bad on anyone, because it's going to be their own actions that will be the judge of their reaction to you and how they treat you. And so, as my daughter is telling me he couldn't see me, my ex-husband had a beautiful voice. A beautiful voice. He could sing and angels would come out. That's one thing I would say, that my ex-husband was extremely talented. And his actions destroyed his beauty. You know, he can't sing anymore because he's had throat cancer several times. He can't see. Like, he waited like 2 decades to see me, and he couldn't see me. So one thing that I've learned about life is, like, literally take that time and do self-healing, because self-healing is self-love. Just really love yourself. Really tap into your healing, because it's when you heal, your perspective on the person that tried to damage you will change. The person that tried to damage your soul. And I'm going to say this to some of you guys right now. Some of you guys, because I've been getting a lot of phone calls from women, you know, women that are in narcissistic relationships and they are afraid to leave. Do not be afraid to leave. That person will destroy your spirit. And you do not want to have to do all that work because somebody like literally destroyed your spirit. You are infinite. You are beautiful. You are worthy. You are meant to be here. Don't let anyone take away the power of love from your source. You deserve to be here, sweetie. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be respected. You should not ever, 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 ever have to explain to a man why you doing what you doing. You shouldn't have to explain to anyone. Like, I started realizing when we are done, you guys, we are done. Like, don't pick up no ex-dusty. And what makes them a dusty? Because they didn't see your value when they had you. They did not see your value when they had you. Then they try to swing back around. They try to swing back around on you. Do not let them do that. Do not let them gaslight you into another 4 to 5 to 6 months of misery until you find out they haven't changed. You best believe any man that has been in my life from this day forward, that meant harm upon my spirit, my assure, the femininity in me, I return them back their energy. I return back their vibration. I return it all back. You need to return that back to them, because they can't see your value. That's why they lost you, because they didn't see your value. And then when they want to turn back around and come and see you and turn back around and say, I thought I had a dream, or I had this, or I had that. Get thee behind me, Satan. That's what you need to do. Know your freaking value. Don't let anyone, and I encourage you to heal. I encourage you to heal. I encourage you to forgive. forgive that person because they really don't know what they're doing. They really don't know how that's going to end. Because these men that are doing all these shenanigans and they're sitting up here and they're like using and running through women like they're drinking a soda on a hot summer day. That all is gonna catch up with them. Like, it's so crazy. My best friend, my best friend lost her husband, and he didn't die well. My ex-husband's not gonna die well. And you can write a check for that. Because you can't do people like that. Can't do people like that and thrive. You won't thrive. And I'm not talking about a financial thrive. I'm talking about a spiritual thrive. You will not thrive in your body. We can't thrive in our body as we create damage to another body. You start sleeping with every woman and attaching yourself to all kinds of women, having women do nefarious things with you because you watching too much, what is it called? Friends only, watching, and you're watching all these women naked because you can't draw a woman. You can't draw a woman, so you creep on these sites. You're only doing harm to yourself. You're not doing harm to nobody but yourself because it's reflective of who you are. And so what I've been telling like my men that the men that I'm coaching is that you need to stop getting your penis wet every time you get an opportunity, because that is your source. That is your life source. Care about where it goes. Care about how you sling, how you choose to dip and get wet. We got to stop doing that. We got to start valuing our bodies, because our bodies hold source within it. So, I just thought I would come by. I hope y'all having a fabulous day. I am so far. It's going to be a beautiful day. It is a beautiful life. This is, you know what? Let me tell y'all. Let me encourage y'all. Get the people that don't know your value out of your life. Create a new tribe. Create a new tribe. Find a new tribe. If you with a man and he's on the fence and he can't make up his mind and he keep telling you what he's gonna do for you and he ain't doing a doggone thing, let him go. Be okay with being by yourself. Be okay with being alone. Be okay with loving just you. Don't let somebody tell you your value. Know your value. The moment you know your value, the more powerful you become. Don't let nobody be a dusty in your life. And a dusty has to do with how you treat people. It's a direct result. And just because somebody treats you poorly, don't mean you need to return it, because the universe will do the job for you. They do it to themselves. You don't have to do a doggone thing. Just continue to be beautiful as you are. Know your worth, know your gift, know who you are, and be blessed. Be blessed. Because trust me and believe. Trust me and believe. It will show out. It will show. So, I just want to say, have a beautiful day. Thank you for showing up and showing out. I will talk to you soon. And I hope it's Monday. I hope you have a beautiful week.